James Melendez, James the Wine Guy. This vlog is going to be about going from Vidcon to WineblogCon, so stay tuned. So in this video I'm going to talk about obviously my weekly subject matter, and you don't see a bottle here because I'm really trying to get into the rhythm, and it's actually pretty hard to do because, as you know, I do a lot of content and I do a lot of individual bottle reviews, and I'm also trying to bring them together logically, so I'm doing several bottles at one time. And so I think this is a great journey. So summertime is to, obviously enjoy the beautiful outdoors, the sunshine and so forth. And it's not usually like that in San Francisco, except right now. I don't know if it's because of the drought. We're having like almost every day is like summer, including from January onward, and almost no rain, which is really unfortunate. But that's not the subject matter of this video. It's about these two conferences I go to, and I'm really excited about it because ultimately I go and I learn. I go and I meet people. I go and meet people that I know already and that I don't know. So it's really a great way to hone in on what I believe is really important. That is wine and even the beverage art form. So not just wine, but also spirits, coffee, tea, and beer and so forth, and bringing that to the forefront of YouTube. Now, I think there's a great seat at the table for the spirits category as well as beer. Now, for whatever reason, this love this wine here. It's a rosé, a Pinot Noir, is doesn't really have a seat at the table. And and I hate to mention it, but when Gary Vee went away, you can look at Gary Vee's numbers, and so I really am going to make a commitment that I'm not going to talk about Gary Vee again. And it's not because I don't want to, it's not because I don't like him, it's just that the whole world in terms of the wine video world has been really framed on this one person. And if you look at the greater context, he was very successful in many ways in terms of building a community and finding a demographic that was his. And I know that my demographic that I'm pulling is not his. And it's like everything else. Being in the marketing world, so being a food and wine marketing manager at a national retailer, I had really learned, actually I didn't even learn, I actually knew from the very beginning when I took that position that the art and science is to know that there's no such thing as a category killer. There are very few category killers. Maybe it is the iPhone, and maybe it's the Mac computer. But beyond that, there's not a lot of things that you can really go in there and say, everything. You just need one personality to drive the whole industry. It's not Robert Parker, it's not Jancis Robinson, it is not Wine Spectator, it is a variety of people. And that's because ultimately the spectrum of people, the demographics out there, yourself, are really, seeking someone out. Maybe it's me, and I thank you for watching, and maybe you're a subscriber, and maybe you're not. But ultimately it's, to build that community, to build that relationship, and to build that cycle of experience and community all together at once. And hence, in order to do that, you have to learn. You have to put yourself out there. Now, ultimately, I think, I started off writing, and of course, being steeped in the profession for quite some time, being involved in the wine community and the beverage arts communities. It's been really interesting to see, well, how do you translate that? Now, wine in itself is a very complicated and yet a very simple product to enjoy. Easy to enjoy because you can find a wine that you're going to really like, but ultimately extremely complex because of really, some basic things that are really hard. That is limited grape production of, fine wines, and limited distribution, and also how do you distribute wine to people, near and far. And so that's really been a conundrum of wine. And I think that's really, getting me to a different place and thinking of this differently. So Vidcon, very important for me to go. Now, I'm an outlier in both groups, by the way. So going to Vidcon, I'm probably not going to run, there's 25,000 people who go. Now, out of the 25,000, I'd say the creator category, there's not a lot of people, creators, producers like myself. Say the 25,000, maybe there's 22,500 that are really fans of particular personalities. And there's a lot of people I like. iJustine, Michael Rizzi, Charles Trippi, and I'm hoping Thomas Anders will be there. So he's a viner and now a YouTuber. And I think it's really getting that craft and art in terms of how do they do what they do. And it's also inspiration. So listening to iJustine saying she really still struggles even though she's, several 100 million hits. How do you end a video? And for me, I'm like, that is not even one of my concerns because I definitely have my quote-unquote ritual. And that's one of the things you learn in the YouTube Creators Academy is how do you have something routine that your visitors, you, are really seeking out. And it gives a sense of comfort, right? If you are doing something that's, not to be overly static, but, to give that comfort level and that brand recognition, because that is what it's all about. So again, I'm probably the only person that has anything to do with beverage at this particular convention, and I'm totally tweeting and I'm out there trying to meet people, but also I go for the classes, the seminars, the keynote speakers, and it's a serious industry when you think of this. So, and last year at Vidcon, the keynote speaker was Jeffrey Katzenberg. This year it's going to be Katie Couric. So you get some really heavy hitters out there, so people that are known in the entertainment world. And YouTube is not to be taken lightly anymore. It used to be, and a lot of people have upgraded their, the particular production quality. So Vidcon is in Anaheim, July 2015, and the next month is August 2015, and I will be going to the WineblogCon. It's really WineBloggers Conference, but I've branded it. No, I'm not a organizer. I really don't have anything to do with that, but definitely a participant. So it's going to be my 5th WineblogCon. It sounds better. Comic-Con. Think of all these other cons that are out there, and to really, marry into that and to create that brand identity. Because I think in the wine bloggers community, I've said so before, and I'll say it again, I do blogging, but I'm not just a blogger. And I'm a vlogger, blogger, wine educator, reviewer. I've been a ghostwriter. I have been doing so many different things in the wine community. I was also in the wine marketing world, which is extremely complex. And in some ways, you get to do very little marketing and a lot of regulatory work. That is, what is possible in terms of the regulatory framework in the very complex United States alcohol beverage control laws. Now, when I go to WineblogCon, it is very interesting because it is on the written word. And I said before, while the written word is really important, a lot of people I know have complained over time that their hits are low, or maybe they're not low, they're just not, excelling the way they'd like them to excel. And ultimately, that's really because the wine blogger community is pretty diverse. It is not terribly, well known who is writing and how many people there are. Ultimately, there is a small core group of people who, myself included, who do write and do, I do things that I mix them together. So I'm going to put some of my video content with my written material and marry them together. And I think that's a great approach. Now, a lot of people don't do that. I've really offered to do a lot of collaboration. I think collabs are really important. I need to do more, and I need to find people who are interested in doing that, because that is really golden. That's the key. So hopefully, maybe there's a few people that I don't know, or have only met through a tweet and so forth at the WineblogCon in Finger Lakes, New York. So Finger Lakes, New York, first time to visit. Very excited. And in May of this year, I was just in Wine Country, Ontario, so not very far from the Finger Lakes, just on the other side of the border. Now, for me, it's also going to be important to, when I look at, there's only one class ever that's offered that has anything to do with, say, video. Now, I've never been invited to really be a lead or be a panelist. I think it's really important. I would definitely be excited to do it and hope to do that someday. One of my friends, Monique Sultani, Wino TV, she invited me to come up stage, and I was really flattered by that because I think she's just really tops in what she does. And for me, that was a really great recognition point. And also people in the audience, there was a few people who had been following me, so I was really excited that they were glad to see me up there. So I'm all about learning this summer. I'm all about continuing that movement forward, continuous improvement, to use a project management term. But for me, it's exciting. It's always about, keeping up with what you're doing, what else is happening out in the outer world, the bigger world. Creating content you want to see, hear, and experience, and even comment on. So thank you again for watching today. Stay tuned for more. Now do me a favor, give a like to the video. The video like button's right down there. Questions and comments down there as well. Subscribe to this video channel right here. And also, if you do me another favor, by also going out in the world and sharing this video on your favorite social media. Thank you for watching today. Stay tuned for more. Salud.